Tiffany.
Good morning, everyone. We're going to get started in a few seconds here. Thank you for attending today. Yeah, I think we're good to go. Take it away.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. My name is Michelle DeJean, and I am the Deputy Commissioner of the Department of Workforce Development. I'd like to thank everyone for being here today. It's a pleasure to be here with you today. I want to begin by acknowledging your outstanding work for all you do in Kentucky's manufacturing sector. You are the driving force behind our state's economic engine, creating products that are used nationwide and globally. Your dedication and skill and innovation is truly commendable. So as employers in manufacturing, I truly just want to thank you for joining us for this session. I understand the challenges you face in today's competitive marketing landscape, finding and retaining skilled workers who can rapidly evolve with technology processes and no it's no small feat. That's where Kentucky's Ready for Industry program comes in. It's designed to address the challenges head on and serve as a game changer for your organization. Ready for Industry is more than just a training program. And on behalf of Team Kentucky and the Department of Workforce Development and our partners in the local workforce development areas, thank you for being here. It's a collaborative effort to equip Kentuckians with skills and certifications that are in high demand and in the manufacturing sector. I'm just going to take a few minutes to directly share with you how Ready for Industry can benefit you as manufacturing employers of the Commonwealth. Ready for Industry can help with targeted skill development. The program focuses on essential skills crucial for modern manufacturing, including problem solving, teamwork, communication, and strong emphasis on workplace safety. Ready for Industry provides customizable training. We can work closely with you to ensure that the training meets your training needs. It's a pipeline for qualified candidates, and Team Kentucky is here to provide it to you at no cost. Um, it's improved retention. It strengthens Kentucky communities. So we're here this morning as a call to action to encourage you to explore Ready for Industry, how it can support your workforce development strategies. Together, we can build a more skilled, competitive manufacturing workforce in Kentucky. We're here as Team Kentucky to answer your questions and provide resources that you need. Please reach out to us after this presentation, and I'd like to turn it over to Josh and Dr. Alvarado and welcome you to Team Kentucky.
All right, thank you all. Thank you all for having us today. Thank you, Michelle DeJean and Team Kentucky. Thank you to the employers and the workforce development partners joining us today. Just some general housekeeping rules as we go through this presentation. I know that it's a small window of time, and so we want to make sure that it is of quality. You can use the chat box or you can raise your hand if you have any questions. It is discussion style, so feel free to stop me or Josh, whoever is talking at the moment, and ask the questions that you need to ask so that you get the information that you need today. Great. So as Michelle spoke to, RFI prepares job seekers from teens all the way up into adulthood for career awareness and preparedness, bridging two gaps in that workplace knowledge when students are coming from the academic piece onto the job site. We are so grateful due to the generosity of the Kentucky Labor Cabinet and Team Kentucky through the Quest Grant that this curriculum is available to you at zero cost. The curriculum helps address two major questions that I'm pretty sure that you have often or have heard often is, which pathway fits me best? And what do employers expect from me on day one? This is not a replacement for the hands-on technical training, but it is an industry ramp up and a boost to give you a skilled trainee. RFI helps identify career pathways, introducing them to the 5 key industries that are most in demand and have a living wage of career pathways. It's been adopted in 4 states, and it's used in a variety of ways from workforce development centers, correctional facilities, rehabilitation facilities, community college, CTE programs, and most recently a bridge program with a Kentucky partner of Ballad Health that's in Kentucky, Virginia, and Tennessee. Ballad Health is using the bridge program to help onboard their students from their CTE health science program into their certified medical assistant roles.
And I think what we'll focus on today is how this can fit all those spaces, but also help employers directly in maybe your internships, in your onboarding, and in really helping, in building that ready for industry employee, that employee ready for manufacturing.
Yeah, so this is easy access for potential employees. It's self-paced programming. It's web-based. It can be accessed by tablet, phone, laptop. Each sector is 15 to 20 hours. So that manufacturing sector is 15 to 20 hours. And again, it's focusing on those key industries and key needs that you have as far as the knowledge base goes. It can be completed as a whole, or it can be pieced out in sections depending on your workforce needs. Using the workplace competency model tier, it addresses the models tiers 3 and 4. And so you see that the students have gone through, they've received some of the academic competencies. Maybe they've completed a CTE program, maybe they have completed their high school or their GED, but there is a gap missing of workplace knowledge or industry technical knowledge that they don't quite know what's going on in the job, what's needed from the job, what's the expectations. This curriculum helps identify that and address that so that they get that industry-wide and industry-specific knowledge explicitly needed in the work. As stated before that you saw in the tier model, the content is based on a competency tier, building the knowledge section by section to develop a skill training. And so starting from the bottom to an introduction to manufacturing to stepping into what does it look like to work in that place? What is it actual specific pathways? So I know that in manufacturing, there may be people who are industry maintenance people or welders or robotics, or even in the engineering path. What do those look like, and how do I attain those roles if I'm interested in those? And then the next pieces are what's happening in the manufacturing landscape. What are the needs? What are the developments that are happening? We know that with AI and technology, there's some great advances that are happening in those areas. And so addressing that so that they have some workplace landscape knowledge. And then later on, how do I look for that job? What does that resume need to look like? What does that interview process need to look like? And then finally, a key piece is my workplace expectations. What is the employer expecting of me? How do I conduct myself? How do I manage myself? And so those sections by section develop a skill trainee. And the goal is really to help you to reduce your onboarding time. Develop a trainee who has self-efficacy on day one as they enter this new role, and hopefully boost retention. RFI can be a standalone or paired with already existing training programs or your career exploration programs that maybe you've partnered with local schools on.
So before we move on, I would love if people in the chat box say what their organization is and what their role is. I know that some from the registration process, for example, we have Richmond Baking is here. Hello, Barbara. Thanks for joining us. And people from Kentucky government as well as from Lexington. But tell us who you are and what your role is and what you're looking for in Ready for Industry. So we'd love to hear from you. I believe you can just drop a chat in the chat box.
If you can see those, Josh, I'll let you read those off.
Yeah, as they get going.
Yeah. Okay. So in Kentucky, our key industries, again, manufacturing, logistics, IT, healthcare, and construction. Today, focusing in on manufacturing. We know manufacturing is high demand, a key industry across the nation, but definitely in Kentucky. In this curriculum and with this completion of RFI, it signals the candidate has 20 solid classroom hours of foundational exposure. They're looking at, lean manufacturing practices, Six Sigma, TQM, emerging technology, safety, which is aligning tightly with your workforce needs. As an employer, you can list this as a preferred credential in your job ads. It can be embedded in some of your boot camps or your trainings. The modules can be in sections. So maybe you just want to focus on teamwork, time management, conflict resolution, lifelong learning. It's a perfect soft skills checklist. And we know those are not soft skills because they're very hard to learn and obtain, but they're identified as that. And those employability skills can be used as a checklist to see if the person has those, they have knowledge of those, and they're ready to go on maybe in your apprenticeship or your onboarding practices.
Thank you to those of you who are putting a note in the chat box. We have a variety of people from Goodwill, particularly the Young Adult Opportunity Center, the Senior Career Coach, Jacob. We're joined by Justin, who's career advisor at Lincoln Trail area. Nice to have you here. Thank you. And we'll be adding this to a suite of programs next year. Nice to hear about that, Justin. Can't wait to work with you. We also have Bridget Green from Team Kentucky, and Naomi from Team Kentucky. So this is an awesome group of people that are focused on helping, the workforce. And I think our goal today is to dig into manufacturing process. And hello, Barbara. Thank you for being here. More Than a Bakery. Yes. I was Googling you guys this morning. We got a long history, 100+ year history of making delicious goods and services to humanity. So it's awesome that you're all here. And really, we want to talk about how having a manufacturing introduction that builds beyond, maybe your high school curriculum to help young people or new hires or job transitioners be more job ready. So we're going to go through the course, but I see Naomi's got her hand up. So Naomi, take it away. And you're on mute.
And that means I accidentally put my hand
Okay,
up.
no problem.
I'm sorry.
That's absolutely fine. And as Casey said earlier, on Team Kentucky, anyone want to jump in here, that's fine. I just want to add one thing as we're showing the sections here, Casey and everyone that's joined. It says "and more" at the bottom, and that's because there is a lot more that happens in Ready for Industry. And so I'm going to put in the chat box to everyone the full course outlines so you can see what the "and more" is. When we're talking about working in manufacturing, we go into Six Sigma and total TQM, total quality management, lean manufacturing. You don't see that on the screen here, but that section is robust. And so want to make sure that you can see the "and more" through the link I put in the chat. Casey, I'll let you keep going here, but I just wanted to say hello, everyone, and thanks for collaborating in the chat box. That's awesome.
No, thank you. I'm glad to hear so many employers that have taken part of it, and thank you to our Team Kentucky people that are here as well. As Josh said, as we get into the sections, yes, this is just like a snapshot of what actually is there. These are so robust, and I'll definitely let you see an outline, and Josh will send it for your review. But in the sections, section 1, building up, that introduction to manufacturing, what manufacturing looks like in society and common manufacturing industries. Then we started getting into terminology, some OSHA terms, some OSHA codes, as he stated, the TQM, lean manufacturing, some hazard pieces, PPE equipment. How do I keep myself safe? More than I just have steel toes, there's more to it. And then manufacturing safety protocols that are necessary in that environment. And as you see these sections and go through, if there's something that you see that you want to ask if it's there, or a comment or an idea that you have, please put it in the chat box.
I also think for employers, as you're seeing the sample questions and the sections, as Casey mentioned earlier, maybe there's an individual section that you think would be hugely beneficial to your staff as a quick review. These accounts they're provided by Team Kentucky at no cost to employers. So everyone can have an account to Ready for Industry. All employers and anyone, Goodwill, all the people that are here today, can get Dr. Alvarado, myself, and our team's support services. But as we look at the sample questions, I think there's a lot of terminology that's thrown around when you enter a career in a commercial bakery, or you enter a career in a car manufacturing, and innovation in that sense, or using goodwill services for young people to make sure they understand the opportunities. We're building their core vocabulary, which makes them foundationally more ready to enter the industry. So understanding what a frontline worker that perform all the direct tasks associated with production, which person is that? So that career title means you're more aware. What's not a key concept in production management? So like understanding production process. Which job works to fuse steel frames together, construct buildings, bridges, and municipal improvement projects, right? So the career exploration, the career understanding, the vocabulary of the industry, we're building that up with checks for understanding as people go through the courses.
Yeah. So that Josh hit the nail on the head. You could leave with a baseline vocabulary, of what is necessary. Some OSHA basics, your PPE, your production management, the pillars that are needed. So the training, if you wanted to, as you're training people, as an employer, here another idea is that you can lift these quiz items for maybe your daily safety huddles, your employee training, your recruitment process, maybe some of your ISO or your lean conversations that you have. You can pull those things out and use that as needed. Okay. So section 3, we're going into exploring. So we're looking at the different roles that they see in manufacturing. Many of them know people who are maybe working on the line or industrial maintenance, but they don't know about mechatronics. They don't know about repair techs, or the welders, or the machinists, or the manufacturing painters, or the varieties of welders that you may have that are there. And so it dives into that. And then section 4, going into current issues. So they're aware of the landscape, what is the manufacturing challenges, what is supply chain, what are smart factories, what are cost increase, what is a disruption in those things.
I think in section 3, some of the things you're not seeing are like non-destructive testing, industrial electricians, robotic operators, production and process engineers, quality assurance technicians. So, making sure that, if those are one of the roles that you're hiring for, or you have internal job opportunities for people, they can learn more by reading about it, exploring it, and taking these courses.
Yeah, and it ensures that candidates can hold a conversation with their people that they're onboarding with or that they're learning from, which gives them self-efficacy, the confidence that they need to be able to stay and on the job site and retain, and know that they're ready to be there. And so they're aware of what's going on in industry, and hopefully reducing some orientation time for you as an employer.
Absolutely. And yeah, for sure.
Section 5 and section 6, focusing on the top careers that are needed, and then getting into how are we getting this job? What are the manufacturing specific resume? What are the common interview questions that I will hear? What are good talking points for the interview? And then getting into employer expectations. What are you expecting from me on day 1? I'm working as a team, managing my own time. How do I do that specifically? And then how do I manage time over maybe I've got, some things in production that you've given me to do. And then conflict resolution, because conflict's going to happen. But we can learn how to address that in the right way, and this curriculum addresses that. Josh, I don't know if you wanted to add on any more of
I would love to, just in terms of Justin's comments of working with high school seniors, our goodwill friends that are here from Olivia, the Young Adult Opportunity Center. I mean, these 2 sections alone, again, you can pull out individual sections as something you want to key in the work you do with young people, with job seekers, focusing on the top manufacturing careers. I mean, these are high wage jobs. Part of the thing about Ready for Industry is making sure that people have livable wages. And so we're looking at, and we'll show data later on the growth in the manufacturing field, but nationally, manufacturing is a topic of high interest. I mean, people are seeing it in the news every single day. And so if you're hearing about the nightly news talks about manufacturing, and the tariffs talk about why, because of the national manufacturing initiative, and all of the things come back to a manufacturing focus. But yeah, people, where do they go to learn more, right? And so I think that's kind of the goal here, is you have a chance to introduce people to the careers, to the fields. And again, you could just grab section 5 if you're working with young people at the Career Opportunity Center, or section 6, and say, hey, let's look at these sections as they relate to manufacturing careers.
Thank you, Josh. Yeah, another example, as you're talking about some of the Goodwill centers and workforce development centers, is they're using Section 5 and Section 6 for their training program. So that they need to complete that in order to get into their training program, as well as part of their case management and discussions with those individuals, part of that training program. Naomi, hand up. Really, hand up?
Yes.
This one's real.
Okay.
So you mentioned that they're able to pick and choose what sections they want to use for their training,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So suggestion, can we put that up front, that they can pick and choose the modules or sections that they can use? They don't have to do all of it?
That's correct. Yes. And actually, something we're working on in the next few weeks would be a micro credential. And we'll talk about the credentialing behind this. But we will have in the resources section, if you completed everything in section 5, you can get a little badge of recognition that you've done section 5, looking for careers. So, but yes, Naomi, absolutely.
Thank you. So going in, each section has a quiz, but also questions that go in within those quizzes. And these are other examples that come out of those last 2 sections that we just looked at. So you're seeing info on teamwork, again, the time management, the conflict resolution, how can you become a valuable team member? Sometimes we want to think that maybe someone should know this information, but if they've had no exposure, they may not be aware of it. They've not had someone in the home that has explained workplace knowledge, or, maybe they've not had those opportunities to, have a job, or continuously have a job, or have some mentorship. This is the information giving them that, so that they understand what is expected on them on day 1. And how they can continue to keep and retain that position. Going into the Kentucky healthcare workforce manufacturing data, I want to hand it over to Mr. Beal here with Team Kentucky to give you guys some insight onto this and what's going on in the landscape of that.
Yeah, as you can see from the data, there's a lot, and as Josh mentioned earlier, there's a lot going on with manufacturing right now, and especially with all the things going on in the news lately, with tariffs and the talk of reshoring manufacturing. And so there's a huge potential for massive growth in manufacturing over the next few years, if those plans are successful, and also with the as we've seen, there's been almost 10% growth, in just the last 10 years of manufacturing. And so the need for good workers who are knowledgeable about the manufacturing industry is essential for the growth of our economy, for the growth of our society. And so the great thing about the RFI program is that it's going to help people to understand, what they're getting into, when they, if they want to join with a manufacturing facility. Because one of the main problems with the manufacturing industry is, at least all the leaders of manufacturing in manufacturing plants that I talk to, is retention. That you get somebody that starts on, and then they're like, oh, this is not for me. I don't want to do this. And then they end up leaving after only a few weeks, or even a few days. And so by having them go through a program like RFI, it can really help with that short-term retention rate, because they know what they're going to be getting into. And so, and as you see with the introduction of automation and the expansion of automation over the next couple of years, the amount of technical knowledge that's going to be needed for manufacturing plants over the next, forever, really, is the more we can help individuals that are interested in manufacturing to understand what they're getting into, what really it means to be in a manufacturing plant, the better we can help with issues like that. And I think all the data shows that.
Thank you so much, Bill. I mean, you're underscoring the job growth, but also the urgency of this new hire pipeline and what RFI can bring to that. Now that
May I
I
add,
have you here, but
may I just add the aging workforce on that last
yeah.
bullet is huge. And so that just means for young people, there's a full career path, right? Where, yes, you're starting at this position, but understanding the career path and the opportunities as people retire, that's upper management. That's people that have been there for decades and have reached the senior level in the manufacturing process. Someone's got to fill the gap. And so starting now, working through it, but understanding the career path in manufacturing is huge to having, I think, a vision for yourself growing into the industry.
Oh yeah, thank you, Josh. Bill, now that I have you, I'd actually like to introduce some of Team Kentucky because I hope that some of them know exactly what you do and what is available and how they can contact you all as well, in partnership. So I'll start with you, Bill, and then I'll head on to Naomi and Tiffany and Debbie.
Yeah, my name is Bill Sandell. I'm a apprenticeship workforce consultant with the Office of Employer and Apprenticeship Services. We provide a wide range of programs and resources to help our employers across the state with programs just like this. We want to make sure that our employers are ready and have all the resources they can to be successful. Whether it's a short-term training program like RFI, or a long-term training program like apprenticeship. We want to make sure that our workforce is prepared and ready to work at our manufacturing plants and all our different other employers and industries, so that our society and our state can be successful.
Thank you, Bill. Naomi?
So I will say that ditto to what Bill has said. And the regions I do cover are West Kentucky and Green River. And we want to thank everyone for being on the call and seeing the value in this. So thank you.
Thanks. Miss Debbie?
Well, good morning, everyone. Happy to be here. I'm representing the Kentucky Workforce Innovation Board, and our primary goals are to reduce barriers, provide resources across the state, and make sure that education is aligned with what employers need. This is a resource at no cost to employers out there. It is critical to use, it's critical to understand, and as Bill has mentioned, as Josh has mentioned, manufacturing is going to go up from here. So we're excited to promote this resource. And if you have any questions about what other state initiatives are going on, reach out. Thanks for having us.
Miss Tiffany?
I'm Tiffany Reeves. I'm with the Bluegrass Local Workforce Development Area. I want to say ditto, ditto, and ditto to what Naomi, Bill, and Miss Debbie stated. The one thing that a lot of people don't think about is the way that we use Ready for Industry here in the Bluegrass is when we have individuals coming in seeking a new career path, and especially our youth and young adults. We let them do the RFI workbook, and that gives them a better understanding of what the actual job responsibilities are.
Wonderful, thank you. I think we have one more.
Michelle Diaz, go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Sorry about that. Thank you. Good morning. My name is Michelle Diaz. I'm with the Office of Employer and Apprenticeship Services. I service the Kentuckiana Works or Greater Louisville region, and I am available for anyone in that region who needs assistance with not only this particular RFI industry, but any of the other industries that we'll be viewing going forward from today.
Wonderful. I think I got everyone, but I noticed that Bill put his information in the chat. If anybody else would like to add their information in the chat, here's a wide range of resources from Team Kentucky that can be partnered with RFI to, again, increase your new hire pipeline, help you with your onboarding, help you with your training programs. So many resources. So good.
And Dr. Alvarado, I just want to say if anyone does have any interest in RFI or any of the other potential programs and resources available, they can reach out to our office at workforce@ky.gov, and we can connect them to the right person that will be able to help them to get those programs.
Wonderful. Thank you guys so much.
I will say we have a comment from Ulysses Gallo in the comment section, just offering to support the local workforce boards. And so it's great that people, thank you for your comment, and you have Team Kentucky here and they can see your comment. And so I'm sure appropriate people will connect or reach out on how that works. So thank you for that. If you,
All right. So I'm going to jump into the certification process. So if we have them complete the whole 6 sections, and there are 2 options. There's an internal certification, and there's an external micro credential that is available for the participants. So on the first one, the Ready for Industry, the participants need to complete each section at 80% or higher, and they can always go back to those sections. Whoever is running the training program can open it back up for them to continue that. We also know that it is a Lexile level at 8th grade with some collegiate level terminology. We know that there's literacy struggles, reading struggles, and things of that sort. So we've provided some resources, a downloadable PDF that someone can use alongside of it to use as a study guide, and they're able to use it on that exam. Once completing and they earn 80% or higher, they receive a RFI certification for that specific sector. And what that signals is that the candidate has completed 20 classroom hours of foundational exposure. Okay, so think of it as a training information that you don't have to teach internally, that you can address here. So. The next piece is our NOCTI certification, and so I'm going to let Josh tell you more about that.
Sure. NOCTI is a national, many employers have heard of it, but some have not, but it's a nationally industry recognized credential. It's an assessment tool that validates the learning that has occurred in Ready for Industry. So if an employee or future employee comes to you holding a NOCTI credential for Ready for Industry, but really for any of the NOCTI credentials, it's a sign that they have the knowledge and skills that's being represented by the certificate. So in this case, someone that comes with a Ready for Industry NOCTI credential has passed the assessment tool device, which is a standardized testing tool, and it really gives them, I think it should give them a rung up in the application process and their abilities and skills and knowledge. And clearly, they have the determination and persistence to get through 20 hours of technical learning and then show that they learned it at a high rate. So the idea here would be that employers will start using this NOCTI credential and recognizing it with a higher degree of thinking of new hires being ready for manufacturing.
Yeah. The next slide's going to go more into the manufacturing specific one.
So this is a breakdown of the different sections in the NOCTI credential and how they're being assessed. So that, assessing their understanding of lean manufacturing, Six Sigma, TQM, understanding of the cutting edge technologies, understanding of safety practices and teamwork skills. And so you can see the breakdown of the sections, with the most weight going to working in the industry. And I think so this is just reviewing how the NOCTI exam is distributed.
Perfect. And then the next piece, I'm going to give that one also over to Josh, as our industry support. As I've been here, I will say I'm new to the role. This is my 2nd month. We've had so many employers previously in the past 2 years that this program has been implemented, partner on and use it in a variety of ways, and have had success with their training programs, with their candidates, and with the progress that they've made. And so Josh can speak more to that, of what's going on.
Absolutely. And, I think, Barbara with Richmond Bakeries or our friends at Goodwill or others that see this recording, we'd like to work with you to have your voice added to how this is helping you. Quite honestly, we want to tell that story. And so we are looking for, Kentucky employers to connect with Dr. Alvarado and myself, with Team Kentucky, to implement this as a pilot, to advocate for it at their local workforce boards, and to be able to tell that story of how it did, in fact, bring a more qualified employee or a better retention or a nice tool for your current employees for movement around in different industries within your sector. But here's just a list of some organizations that have already signed on in other states and in Kentucky. So we're just excited about this, and we're looking to add your voice to the Ready for Industry story, and would love to follow up with you after today to see how we can support you. That's the goal today, quite honestly, to talk to you. What is this? How can you use it? And for you to reach back out to Dr. Alvarado and myself and say, we want to work with you. Let's get a pilot going. How can we get this? How do I get my license? How do I get started? And I think we have a QR code that makes it super easy on the next slide.
So you have the good involved slide. So you can like Josh said, you can launch a pilot at your location. You can request that all using the QR code, or if you just want to enter it into the chat, I'll also send you an email after this webinar that'll include some resources, the recording, and another opportunity to pilot this program at your location. Again, spread the word, talk about it. And, I know many of you sit on, CTE committees and advisory boards, your leaders in the industry. And so talking to other industry leaders, maybe your HR meetings, your manufacturing associations, so that they can have this resource too that Team Kentucky has so generously given to the state to be able to use to create a more work-ready workforce. And then make your voice heard. Your local workforce board is influential in getting this used in your region. And so it could be a phone call, it could be an email, it could be a letter. If you need help creating that document, feel free to reach out to us or one of your partners at Team Kentucky so that you can have those conversations with your workforce board. Below is my email address and then the link that's there to create an account. You have your QR code. But what I really like to do before we get finished and just go into the Q&A is I'd actually like to show you the platform. And so I'm going to show you a quick video of how it can be used and what it kind of looks like. Okay. While I'm doing that, I'm going to stop sharing. But Josh, I don't know if there's any questions that anyone has.
I don't know if there's any questions, but now would be a great time to put questions into the chat box or your thoughts on how you might use this. I always find that when one person shares how they're thinking of implementing a resource, it gets other people thinking about something a different way. But as Casey pulls up a quick video of the resource in action, please do add your thoughts to the chat box. Thank you.
As Casey gets ready, Josh, just for discussion amongst those in the panel and the audience, the Department of Workforce Development is working for a manufacturer of using Ready for Industry in their selection process. So to ensure that they are interviewing candidates who want to work in manufacturing, they're asking as part of their pre-hire or pre-selection for interview using Ready for Industry, and Ready for Industry would be part of the packet for the interview process. So that's one strategy an employer is using Ready for Industry.
That's great. Thank you.
All right. Can everyone see my screen?
Yes.
Perfect.
Everything you use day in and day out was manufactured somewhere. Manufacturing is a highly complex, technical industry that values innovation, creativity, and successful planning. This Ready for Industry course will help you understand the basics of manufacturing and introduce you to the exciting careers available in this industry. As you learn more about the manufacturing industry, consider which options are available and what manufacturing roles you might enjoy. After taking this course, you should be prepared to move forward into one of these high-demand job opportunities towards a rewarding career. In this course, you'll become familiar with the wide variety of manufacturing job opportunities, the impact of manufacturing on society, the key types of manufacturing, important manufacturing processes and terminology, safety concerns and common industry practices, manufacturing's impact on the environment, advanced manufacturing and the future of automated production. Some of the jobs that this course will examine include production and process engineers, Production and process engineers design, maintain, and improve the industrial manufacturing processes. These careers prize analytical thinking, problem solving, and the ability to communicate and discuss ideas with others in the facility. Maintenance and repair careers. The manufacturing industry relies on tools and machinery. Maintenance and repair jobs are critical to keeping production facilities running and making sure equipment downtime is kept to a minimum. Welders. A welder is a trained tradesperson who fuses metals and makes repairs to metal parts or products. This long-established and reliable career path for individuals looking for a hands-on role in manufacturing. Machinists.
All right. So that gives you just a glimpse of how the platform works. But again, we can always get you set up with an account so that you can review it on your own as well as use it in your facility and your work. I'm going to open the floor now to some Q&A or some comments. How do you plan to use it? How we can help support you? Let us know.
Yeah, I think we were going to let the Deputy Commissioner Michelle sort of lead the panel through a just quick conversation.
Yeah.
Sure. Sure. So thank you again, everyone, for your time and your commitment to Kentucky's manufacturing excellence. By partnering with Ready for Industry, we're confident we can address your workforce challenges and continue to strengthen Kentucky's position as a leader in manufacturing. I'm going to start by asking the panelists on the line to add any comments to what they've heard and see if there are any questions from the participants on the session. So Bill, I'll let you kick us off and we'll go from there.
Yeah, I just wanted to thank everyone for participating in the panel and for anybody who may be watching the recording. And again, manufacturing is such an important industry here in Kentucky, and we've seen so much expansion over the last few years. And with everything going on, there's the hope is that we will continue to expand manufacturing, which means we need more workers and we need more quality workers. And so that's why we are investing in programs like RFI, so that we can help prepare our workforce to be able to work in those advanced manufacturing facilities that we hope and plan will be growing here in Kentucky over the next several years and decades. And you being on the ground floor of getting involved in these kind of programs is going to give you that leg up and give you that head start against your competitors. And so I encourage everyone to be able to look into this more and to look into how they can utilize this program for their organization.
Thank you, Bill. Thank you. Michelle Digesh, any thoughts, comments to what you've heard today?
Sure. Yeah, I'd like to add to anyone that's here now or will be watching videos that there is such a common misperception that is slowly being overcome, that manufacturing is dirty and old. And if anything can be said of this particular curriculum, is that it provides an insight into what advanced manufacturing truly looks like today. There are so many moving parts. There are so many intricacies that if someone is interested in entering the field of manufacturing, you can actually get your feet wet with this curriculum and actually experience what is out there and what a great opportunity it can be to grow, particularly not only in your knowledge base, but also in your pocketbook.
Thank you, Michelle Digesh. Debbie Dennison from the Caleb, anything to add?
I think you can drop the mic on what Bill and Michelle Digesh have said already, right?
Yeah.
But we're just excited about all of this, the exploration opportunities. If you're changing a career, right, or even within manufacturing, you want to go from one to another, this is a great way to get your feet wet. And approach HR, maybe get that raise that you're looking for, right? So this is not only from an employer standpoint, but this is a wonderful model for career seekers to continue their lifelong learning that we so often advocate for. So thank you all again for listening in.
Thank you, Debbie. And Naomi, let's talk about registered apprenticeship. So we can braid and blend programs and work services ready. Could Ready for Industry help anyone considering or anyone who has a registered apprenticeship program?
Most definitely. They can, as I mentioned earlier and Josh mentioned, they can pick and choose the aspects that they want to use in their training. This is certified training, even though it's online, it's all tracked and monitored. So they would get their scores and it can count towards their RTI. We have a local school in Owensboro actually using it for their students who have picked careers in these fields, and they're just so proud to go to it and talk about it. It's generating a lot more interest. They're doing it in the summer, but they're talking to their coworker, their student friends, and they're calling the school going, hey, I want to be a part of it. So that's another tool. But for registered apprenticeship, there's 2 companies in West Kentucky that are looking at it, and I'm going to hopefully get them signed up with an account to see it and move forward, because it is a great opportunity. It's built-in training. You know, you've got the safety, and they can pick and choose logistics in conjunction with manufacturing. So they were excited about that part, and knowing that they could take these, put them in there to count towards their hours, they were just thrilled. One less thing they had to think hard about. So great opportunities to combine them. Apprenticeship is always trying to expand the knowledge, and it's a great foundational tool to help.
So I'll bring us home. I don't see any questions in the chat, Dr. Alvarado or Josh, unless I'm missing anything. So I just want to thank everyone who took the time to join us as participants. I personally want to thank all of the panelists, our partners at the local workforce development areas. Let's work together to build a brighter future for our state's industrial sector. Thank you again, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you all so much. Thank you to our attendees, and thank you to Team Kentucky. And I hope that to hear from you all soon.